It's over for Tesla stock. A parabolic move is coming. In this video, we will go over when this could happen, down to specific dates, what my expectations are for this rally. Based on history, it is all but confirmed that a rally is coming in Tesla. But sometimes things don't go according to historical patterns. Sometimes correlations break. But I don't think this time. I think we are indeed headed towards a massive rally. And this could be a rally that sets up Tesla as one of the leaders for 2026. You know, in recent days, there has been a lot of talks of an AI bubble that has popped. And the fact of the matter is, if AI is in a bubble, you are in very early stages. I am under the assumption that Tesla, as the world's largest AI company, would be substantially higher if we were truly in a bubble. Now, why I call Tesla the world's biggest AI company, it's because of the total addressable markets that Tesla is targeting. Robotaxi could affect every human in the world because you need a car, you need to get around, you need to go places. It affects every household in the world. Optimus can potentially affect all humans in the world, plus some, with essentially, quote unquote, free labor or infinite labor. There is no other company that can even compete with Tesla from an AI perspective. Now, NVIDIA, that's up there too, because you'd imagine NVIDIA chips are going to be in Optimus bots. Okay, the point I'm making is you're nowhere close to a bubble until Tesla is thousands of dollars per share, not even $1,000. That's the tip of the iceberg. Once Tesla hits like $3,000 to $5,000 a share, then we can start to talk about this market is truly in a bubble. And I imagine in my head when I think of a bubble as something that pops and never quite inflates again, right? We're not there yet. Not even close, okay? What we have experienced in markets the last week or two, broadly speaking, is October volatility. The longer-term thesis for 2026 remains intact. Rate cuts, inflation coming down, consumer getting better with a big, beautiful bill, and tax changes, like being able to write off for the first time ever interest paid on your auto loans, for a quick example. That should help the consumer recover. Let alone, rates coming down allows for the real estate market to recover from the worst housing recession we have had in many decades. AI is alive and well and not going away anytime soon. Companies are competing with each other on a micro level in America. And on a global level, America is competing with China. Long before this AI bubble, quote unquote, pops, the US government will be giving away money to the private sector just to try and compete with China. China's AI capabilities are coming. Their energy prospects are probably the most alarming thing if you are in America, betting on America to win the AI revolution. China deploys way more energy than we can. And that's going to be a big factor in who wins the AI arms race. I don't think we're even to that point of caring about that yet. I think that'll happen some point maybe in 2026 where Wall Street gets nervous that China is catching up or something. But we're not there. So again, this is seasonal October volatility that will pass. We have regional banking issues or concerns. We have a government shutdown, which is basically creating a data blackout. And just a tip of the iceberg there, we have a trade issue with China, to say the very least. Well, Donald Trump basically came out today and said things could get better with China quickly, or they could get much worse. That the U.S. has other things that they can do, like airplane restrictions, and you get the idea. Or, as Trump said, China will come to a deal. It seems like things are getting a little bit better versus getting worse. And that has just led to the catalyst for October volatility, which is perfectly normal. But what is coming over the next 3 months is a massive rally in markets and specifically for Tesla, which will set up Tesla's dominance next year. People are going to start talking about Tesla again as an AI leader. And there is really a string of upcoming catalysts starting this Wednesday that will catapult that discussion. And in this video, we will break them down and look at the charts and where Tesla stock is going next. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all of that will make you money, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, but I believe in what I'm saying. So contact a financial advisor and come to your own conclusions. But I believe this will be right. Before we get into that, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out the link down below in the description of this video if you want to come invest in AI stocks, quantum stocks, biopharmas, gene editing companies, energy companies that are going to be, in my view, in a bull market for the next 10 years. Okay? These things are not going away anytime soon. The idea is you want to invest in the companies that are a little misunderstood by Wall Street, a little undervalued by Wall Street, that seemingly, like Palantir, come out of nowhere and do very well and grab attention. Those are the kind of stocks that we are targeting, smaller companies. Smaller not because they're worse, but smaller because they're perhaps a little newer. And we are executing very well on that strategy. Come join us, link down below in the description of this video if you want to come try it out. But with that said, let's get started with why Tesla stock is about to explode. And it's actually simpler than most people think. See, again, in the trading community, we have to look at mainly smaller companies to find information disparity, or I guess that's a good word for it, disparity. What I mean by this is if you invest in Apple and you're looking for information that Wall Street is not priced in yet, you're never going to find it, ever. It's never going to happen. But if you're looking at companies that are $1 to $5 billion in market cap, you're going to find a lot of information that, Wall Street has not priced in. It happens almost on a daily basis in the trading community. Okay? Tesla is the weird exception to this, where if you watch this channel on a regular basis, you have information that Wall Street has not quite priced in yet. And this has happened for a long time. Hence why Tesla continues to do well. Why Tesla has not crashed and burned yet. Because we know that robotaxi is going to be a dominant player in the robotaxi field of operations. We know that Optimus is going to be very successful. Why do we know this? Because Optimus really comes down to manufacturing. While Figure and Boston Dynamics and some other robotics companies may have exceptional products that could maybe on paper compete with Tesla's. It's kind of like cars. Lucid has a great product. Rivian has a great product. But have they been able to manufacture profitably? No. And the inevitable outcome for those two automakers, just again, pick on them, is bankruptcy. Eventually it will happen. The question is, when? unless some miracle were to happen. Definitely in Lucid's case, they need a miracle. Okay, Rivian might have a better shot, but that's still looking well into the distance. Okay, Tesla has the manufacturing capability, the expertise, the knowledge, the resources to be the number one player in robotics at scale. Anyone can make a prototype, but manufacturing a prototype, creating the supply chains for your robot, manufacturing it to near perfection, every robot, and doing that profitably is a totally different thing than creating a prototype or two. That's important to point out because that's the longer term thesis for 2026. As we get closer to Optimus production, as sales begin at some point in 2026 of Optimus in warehouse-like settings, the chase will be on in Tesla stock. And I think institutional investors, some of them that have started backing Tesla recently, understand what is coming. Because the fact of the matter is, retail does not move Tesla. The sad truth is, retail recently, some of them have overlooked Tesla in a way that they did not used to. Okay, what used to happen was retail would get bullish, retail would be right, and then institutions would chase. They would chase the rallies. From what we can tell in, let's say, option activity, shows that institutions are actually the ones buying Tesla right now. Retail investors are setting up to be the chasers, which is unfortunate for some. If you look at option activity on Friday, 89% of $287.5 billion worth of option activity was bullish. Only 11% from institutions was bearish. Even on a day like today where there's chaos, AWS is shut down, brokerages are not working properly, you had 146 different trades from institutions, totaling $127 million with a positive order value of 65%. But when you look at StockTwits and you go to Tesla, StockTwits was not working earlier, so let's see if it's working a little bit more today. Definitely a lot slower. But if you look at your sentiment barometers, sentiment is bearish at 27. Even on Friday, it was at 34. Retail seems to be bearish on Tesla right now. Message volume is low at 36. Participation ratio extremely high at 95. Okay. Right before major catalyst, I'll be damned if we miss the obvious that is coming. Now, historically speaking, the 20-day moving average is a pretty important indicator. As I talked about over this weekend, we're not going to get into it too much, but when you break above the 20-day moving average, you normally get a pretty large rally, like anywhere from 50 to 100% on average. Okay? That happened on Friday, and that strength continued today, with the stock that was up about 1%. This is a clear sign. Historically speaking, Tesla stock is about to have a substantial move higher. Now, the chase is on. Once you breach new all-time highs, then you start to get a lot of traders in the stock. Then you start to get, people jumping in again. And you need about a $44 move or so, $45 move from here to the upside to get a break of new all-time highs. Now, Tesla stock on earnings this Wednesday and after hours is pricing in an 8% move up or down. An 8% move up, it's going to put the stock at about $480 per share. 8% move lower puts the stock at about $407 per share. That's the expected move by the option implied volatility. Okay. I think the move could be larger than that. Okay. I think this Wednesday could be the start of a series of bullish catalysts for Tesla. Because on Wednesday, we're going to get an update on Robotaxi. and the planned expansion from there. And I'm sure we're going to get good news. It is in Elon's best interest to make investors feel bullish again. Okay, so I think we're going to get exactly that on Wednesday. We're likely going to get an update on Optimus. And as long as commercial sales are coming by next year, that's something that I think a lot of Wall Street has forgotten about, that is not talked about all too much. Even in a lot of analyst notes, it's not too much talk about Optimus, in which there should be, because next year is going to be big. So Wednesday is a huge day for Tesla, not because of the EPS or revenue or margins, but because of what the company is going to say with their AI projects for 2026. I think we're going to get some great news there. On November 6th, we have Elon's compensation package, which I'm assuming will pass just like the other 3 votes passed. Okay, I don't think the 4th vote is going to show much of a difference. Okay, so Elon will be retained at Tesla. We're probably going to get some kind of demonstration. We're going to see Optimus at work. There's been some rumors about that, but we'll have to see. It looks like Cybercab production is starting soon, and potentially Tesla is about to reach unsupervised FSD and be actually able to take these safety drivers out of robotaxis, which will allow for a pretty aggressive scaling of that service. Now, I also believe personally that we are about to get news on the robotaxi. It's been awfully quiet for a while. There's been a lot of robotaxi vehicles, the validation vehicles, spotted specifically around the Dallas area, but in other states and other cities. Tesla is working behind the scenes every day to pave the way for scalability. You have gotten 2 areas that the robotaxi is operating in. But that whole time, Tesla's paving the way for expansion. Okay? Just like that, as permits start to roll in, you could start to see cities popping up left and right for robotaxi operations. It's kind of like if you're an entrepreneur and you work for 10 years, okay? You don't see a lot of results, nothing really happens, but you're building the groundwork for your ultimate success. And then boom, one day, from an outside perspective, it looks like you're an overnight success. But you've been working 10 years to get there. Tesla is doing the work behind the scenes, and then one day it's going to look like it all just happened at once. And again, that's not all going to happen in a day, figuratively speaking, a couple of months to get 10 cities launching robotaxis, right? But the groundwork is being laid right now. And I believe in 2026, it's really going to be a catalyst-rich year for Tesla in which AI is going to dominate. Wall Street right now doesn't even largely look at Tesla as an AI company. Some people do. Yes, Dan Ives and Adam Jonas and some of your analysts, some of Wall Street. But Tesla is generally not looked at as an AI company. Definitely not a robotics company. And that is the direction that we're heading in. Mix that with my thoughts on 2026. Again, lower inflation, multiple Fed rate cuts, a better housing market, stronger consumer, AI demand that is alive and well, hopefully geopolitical tensions that continue to die down, trade deals that get done. 2026 is shaping up to be one hell of a year for Tesla. But I think the rally will start potentially this Wednesday and be a pretty aggressive rally into year end. I actually think Tesla could climb easily 20% from here, puts the stock at about $532 per share, or as high as 50% into the end of the year. That puts the stock at about $665 per share. That would be kind of crazy. But I do believe Wall Street has really underpriced Tesla's ambitions for a long time. And the fruits of that labor will start to show. Okay. With the series of catalysts we have, this Wednesday, number 1. November 6th, number 2. I believe we're going to get Robotaxi coming in another city by the end of this year. And then boom, on January 2nd, I think we're going to have an upside surprise for Q4 delivery numbers. And then roughly around January 20th, we're going to have another earnings, which we're going to get more of a definitive outlook for 2026. So 5 catalysts in the next 3-ish months that I think could easily drive Tesla 20 to 50% higher from here. Now, broader markets I think are going to do well also. But again, I think this is Tesla's moment just from a technical perspective. It even looks like we have a bit of a cup and handle pattern that kind of formed since the December 2024 all-time high Tesla set. You can kind of see the, cup handle pattern starting to form, and it's really just a matter of time before I think we get a much larger breakout. And again, unfortunately this time around, it's going to be a lot of retail investors that are chasing this stock. A lot of retail that sold out, on some of the fear moments that Wall Street ate up and took advantage of. And, I hope you're not one of those retail investors that missed the move and that are going to miss the next rally. Now, we do have some catalysts coming this week. Most notably, it's the CPI report on Friday. You're actually not expecting much of a change at all from last month's numbers. Besides year-over-year headline is expected to tick up a little bit. Now, this is really going to be the first set of data from the BLS that is going to come out whether or not the government is open or not. I'm under the assumption that they're releasing these numbers because they're going to be good. Okay, I don't think Trump would want to release these numbers if they're bad. And he wouldn't have to. The cover is the government is shut down, the BLS is not releasing numbers, okay? So that's just, again, my personal opinion on the situation. That could be wrong. Okay, so come to your own conclusions. It doesn't guarantee that Friday's going to be a great day. But when you also look at the CNN Fear and Greed Index and other market metrics, people are fearful. People are bearish. So broadly speaking, a reversal is in the cards soon for the internals of our markets. Okay, for a while there, we were seeing quite a broad-based market rally. That has not been the case for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Market momentum is neutral. Stock price strength is neutral. Stock price breadth, extreme fear. Put and call options, extreme fear or fear. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand, extreme fear. And junk bond demand in extreme fear. You have 54% of stocks in an active decline. 54% of stocks below their 50-day moving average. That's not a very strong number. And about 13% more bears than bulls in the AI Investor Sentiment Survey. These are all definitive signs, at least historically, just like Tesla breaking above the 20-day moving average, that you should be a buyer here. That the recovery or the upside is coming. Again, sometimes correlations can break and they don't all have to always play out the same way. But if market patterns are something that you like, this should be a time when you are buying this market. Specifically Tesla, because a breakout could be coming very soon. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.